We're live, dude.
Are we?
Ow, my throat's twitching.
Twitching.
It's not really the throat. It's the vein. What the heck?
Race car spelled backwards is still race car. This is the Race Car Spelled Backwards podcast. Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Brad, and with me, as always, here in the studio is Jamie, and this is the Race Car Spelled Backwards podcast.
Do you know it's the 25th, dude? 25th episode.
25th episode. What's today's date? Today's the 25th.
Oh my
25th
God,
episode.
that is.
I just realized that.
Should we go pick number 25 as the Powerball with the big ticket that's $1.5 billion?
Probably not.
Yeah, wasted $2.
We have a better chance of having episode 25 fall on the 25th, like it did, than winning the Powerball.
You think?
Yeah, because this already happened. So,
Is there a pick 2 in lottery?
can you pick just two numbers?
Yeah.
Or is that? Do you pick 2 and 5, or do you pick 25?
Well, like I see.
Well, you could pick 2, 5, and 25. So that's 3 numbers. So you could do the 3. The
like
daily
on the
lottery
weekend, I see if I'm watching the race or something, they'll pop up with the Georgia lottery people.
thing. Yeah.
The midday pick 3
Yeah,
and pick 4.
So you could pick 2, 5, 25.
So they pick that twice a day, I guess.
I don't know what numbers those. My grandfather was a big lottery
Dude,
guy.
you could go broke if you played it twice a day.
I take enough of a gamble driving on the highway here in Atlanta, so I'm not.
What if you smoked
Betting.
cigarettes and played lottery? Cigarettes are like $5 a pack.
I'd be broke.
I don't smoke because I'm cheap as hell.
Can't afford to.
Yeah, I can afford to. I'd just rather spend it on other things like ice cream and potato chips.
Well, as you can see, we have nothing to talk about because absolutely nothing happened over the weekend in
No.
racing.
There was nothing interesting about the race.
So thanks for tuning in. We'll just catch you next week on episode 26.
Bye-bye.
Just kidding. Joseph Newgarden. Did you catch that wreck he had at Iowa yesterday, Jamie?
Yeah, what happened, man? Did he need new tires?
I ain't got a clue. I know it didn't look like that hard of a hit, and they took him to the Info Care Center after the wreck. He was cleared by the doctors at Indy. After he was released from the Info Care Center, he got dizzy, passed out, and hit his head, cutting his head, and was taken to the hospital via helicopter. Now,
That's weird.
well, everybody freaked out saying it was worse than what it was because the helicopter, but everything online said they took the helicopter because that was the fastest way to get to the hospital. It was like an hour drive or, 15-minute flight. So yeah, throw me in the helicopter. Get me the hospital. But all the tests they ran on Newgarden came back negative. I'm assuming being released at some point today, if not already. On Monday, he was supposed to be released. So we'll see if he's cleared to drive
Guess
on
we
Thursday.
haven't gotten an update today.
Well, Thursday's when he meets with the Indy doctors again, and they'll clear him to drive or not clear him to drive. But either way, if he's got a concussion, anything to do with the head, you got to take care of that. I mean,
Maybe he's dealing with my wound specialist. Last week, he took my blood to see if I had blood poisoning and said, I'll let you know in 2 days.
Still haven't heard back?
Haven't heard back, but I've left many messages, and I think they don't answer when they see my phone number on caller ID.
I wouldn't answer either if you kept calling me over and over.
I know, I can be pretty nasty.
Petty GMS was hit with a penalty before the race started on Saturday for unapproved adjustments to the rocker box in the car. Proof that NASCAR isn't playing around when it comes to modifying these cars.
Is that what it was? I thought he got penalized for Cuba Gooding Jr. photobombing his picture on Twitter.
On Twitter?
Because isn't he a sex offender?
Who?
Cuba Gooding Jr. He settled out of court.
Did he?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have that channel.
Was that what Richard Petty was going to ride on his boat?
I have no idea. Where did Cuba come? Was he at the race or something?
No. I follow Richard Petty. There's a picture of him in the Bahamas in front of a gigantic cabin cruiser. I would call it, I guess, a yacht. And in the picture, way in the back of the boat, there's Cuba. Is it Cuba or Cuba?
I thought it was Cuba.
Well, it's Cuba Gooding Jr.
As you know, we can't pronounce crap on this show correctly.
Doing a human X behind him, photobombing him.
Yeah, I missed that.
I thought that's why he got penalized.
Maybe that's why. Maybe NASCAR's like, hey, no child molesters allowed.
Somebody's air conditioner's not working, dude.
Oh, well. Denny Hamlin says that in 2023, 2311 will have their own pit crew members and will not be getting them from Joe Gibbs anymore. Brilliant. It's about time.
It's probably a good idea.
Yeah, obviously you're having an issue getting them from where you're getting them from, so let's not do that anymore. Gibbs isn't going to give Denny the best crews anyway.
Or the best car.
Ever. It's always
especially yesterday.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think Denny's getting ready to make his move. What he signed for his extension? Do we know?
No, I ain't got a clue. 2 years? I know he's there.
I'm not talking dollars. We keep that secret now.
I'm just saying Denny's probably guaranteed through next year.
Think he makes more than Kyle?
Maybe not after this year. All right.
Kyle's going back to Legends after this year.
I would be all right with that because we can cover that easily.
Yeah.
All right. So NASCAR says that in 2025, when the new TV package goes into effect, they will be giving the race teams a bigger cut of that package money. Currently, 65% goes to the tracks, 25% to the teams, and another 10% to NASCAR sanctioning body. The reason I say another 10% is because 65% goes to the tracks. NASCAR owns half the tracks.
Is going to take the skid there? Do you think it's going to be the tracks?
Yeah, I think they. So I'm thinking the current deal
55-35 tracks and teams.
Tracks get 45%.
Okay,
is what it'll go to. But the sanctioning body is going to get more than 10% then because they're losing. So let's say you take 10% away from the track deal, you're going to give 10% to the sanctioning body. Or 20% from the track, you give 10 to the sanctioning body, 10 to the team. So it's 45, 35, 25. Or 20. Yeah. My math's horrible. Add all that up.
You think CBS will even bid? Not CBS.
ESPN?
No, not even ESPN.
They're rumored to bid on it.
Fox.
Oh, yeah. They will.
Well, you think it'll be half-hearted because
that's why they're going to bid on it.
They're half-hearted
if they can close the deal without trying, why wouldn't you try to do it again? They're going to want the opportunity to continue not trying. They have the easiest job in the world. They don't have to show up to work.
I think they make more money because of the lack of human involvement than
that's what I'm
NBC. NBC spends some bank.
Well, yeah, they
put on a good show.
They have four broadcasters in the booth. Fox has 2. So tell me who cares more.
Well, they had the visiting.
It doesn't matter. That's not a full-time position.
Should be.
It just doesn't count, though. I mean, it's like you can't consider your girlfriend your wife.
Bill Elliott did a good job. You think they'd bring him in, or he would only cater to the Southern fans because of his drawl?
I think Bill's too involved in Chase's career to get into the booth.
Chase is a big boy.
Yeah.
Let him put on his big boy pants.
I don't think Bill has to work, nor does he want to work any more than he is.
Yeah, he was in that period of time where they were paying people a lot of money.
All right, so the last couple of weeks we've talked about the rumor of the announcement about a rumor. Well, it's officially official now.
It's not a rumor.
No more rumors, no more announcements. It's official. Road America is off the schedule next year. We are going to the streets of Chicago.
I hope it's not as boring as Road America.
12 turns, 2.2 miles long, lots of 90 degree. You know, these cars are built to turn on a dime. So,
see, I think we should, and I told you this earlier, get rid of the lucky dog.
We're putting them on a flipping F1 course, man. This is stupid.
No, but we can make it interesting. Instead
of
having,
be interesting. I'm watching it.
I guess the lucky dog isn't the term anymore since they're not paying for it to be, but let's just call it the lucky dog. If you look at the map, it's basically a figure 8. We're talking like 50 feet from one circle of the 8 to the other circle. So the car in last place gets once during the race. Every car is eligible, but they get to cut the 8.5.
Just once.
Just once.
Every car.
It's kind of like the Joker's wild in poker.
Everybody has a Joker. Everybody.
As long as you're last place.
Granted, instead of having to do a Joker lap, you're giving a Joker lap.
You might have leaders who lead every week decide to slow down and do the shortcut.
Yeah, I'm good with that. Why not? Look, I don't know if it's going to be good or not. I don't think our cars are built for track. Our cars weigh more. They're bigger. We're not Indy. Indy struggled at the street course in Nashville. And now here we go to the street course in Chicago. We have an opportunity to look like fools here.
I would like to just pull Indy from the schedule.
Well, here's the thing. I think it's a great idea to go to Chicago street course as far as a marketing pitch. Let's go to Chicago. It's a big demographic area, a lot of people. Yes, we have a chance to gain some new fans. We also have a chance to look like idiots on the track. You wouldn't take an ice skater and put her on a skateboard ramp. She'd look like an idiot.
That'd be cool, though.
What if 50 billion people were going to be watching it? It's good marketing. There's going to be 50 billion people watching this skateboard event. Okay, we'll take our ice skater and she can go down the ramp on ice skates. It doesn't happen. It's not going to work right. It's stupid. So we have a chance as NASCAR to look like idiots here. But then again, we have a chance not to look like idiots. So I don't know what's going to happen. Personally, I don't think it's a great idea, but whatever. I'm not obviously making these decisions, or we wouldn't have been going to a road course at all. We'd be back at Daytona.
We're starting to look a lot like F1, dude. I don't know if you've noticed that.
Starting to look like a bunch of idiots half the time, but whatever. Let's just talk about looking like an idiot. How about Christopher Bell loses a wheel on pit road in Atlanta, does not get a penalty. Austin Cindric loses a wheel on pit road in New Hampshire, but he does get a penalty. You know what the difference was?
A different person made the judgment call.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
One wheel was rolling faster than the other. I mean, that's what, when I knew, I wish, and I said it last week on this show.
What if the team just said no?
They should have gave Christopher Bell the damn penalty last week. If he would have got a penalty last week, we would have been consistent. And then when they gave Austin Cindric a penalty, this wouldn't even be something we're discussing.
What if they just said we're testing the balancing of the tire by rolling it down pit road?
Well, Austin Cindric should have said that because Christopher Bell obviously got away with it.
Huh. Well.
Hey, did you watch the 20-lap short SRX Syrix race?
That was weird, man.
If you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. With everything you need all in one place. Let me explain. Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. While hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms such as Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more. It's really everything that you need to make a podcast all in one place. And best of all, Anchor is totally free and easy to use. So download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today.
I'm telling you, I went to get a drink out of the fridge and came back and saw the lap count had changed. I'm like, hold it. Was I tripping here? I had nothing to drink.
Looking at that cup in your hand going, what am I drinking?
I was just drinking water, cold water.
Were those regular mushrooms, honey? Well,
it was weird.
I heard a lot of people there were complaining, saying they didn't even know what was going to happen. Like, over the loudspeakers or whatever, they didn't announce it.
I have a feeling
very clear.
Syrix is going to be regulated to one of them far cable channels and the
CSBNC.
3 and 500s. Yeah.
C-SPAN.
Maverick channel.
C-SPAN. After the House committee meetings, they'll play the SRX race.
It was kind of old this year.
2 a.m.
Five Flags was promising, but after that...
I mean, the first couple races of the season were good, but I think with this style of racing, beating and banging is required. We're not running a 400-mile, 4-hour race. We're running a 70-lap 100-mile shootout.
I wish they fielded 20 cars or 24 too. 12 is just, I don't know.
Not enough.
It's not enough. Some of the short tracks, maybe, they need 20 cars, but come on.
Well, Ryan Newman holds on to win Heat Race 1.
And I thought he was going to be the
pileup.
champion, but whatever.
I think the championship points were pretty close.
3 points difference between Marco and him.
2 points.
2 points?
Yep, at the end of the day. I thought it was going to be a closer championship race, but here's the other thing. They didn't really talk about it. So it's like SRX missed an opportunity to promote the close championship battle. But during the race Saturday night, you never heard them talk about it.
I don't know. It was kind of like they knew they were done and mailed it in.
It's kind of like they knew Chase Elliott was going to win Heat Race 2 and the main event. Every race Chase is in there, he wins. So why if it's all scripted, why wouldn't you script the most popular NASCAR driver to win the race when he's in it?
Sometimes it looks like Tony's holding back, too.
Well, Marco Andretti wins the second season of SRX Championship by 2 points over Ryan Newman. And Marco Andretti apparently had a broken arm, dude. I watched the whole race, and I don't see where he could have. I mean, I saw his spin that put him in the back, but he didn't hardly hit anything. Like, only thing I can think of is his wrist got caught in the steering wheel when he was spinning.
Why would you jam your hand in the steering wheel?
Well, he broke his arm earlier this season like that. But dude, I saw the X-ray, and it was like the bone on the right side was on the left side.
But you see a lot of drivers, when they get in a bad accident, let go of the wheel.
Yeah, I don't think he did. That's the only thing that explains it.
Well, it was way more interesting last season, and after about the fourth race, it started to get boring.
After South Boston?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, really, since South Boston, we've complained about SRX every week. It's went downhill since South Boston.
I think it's because it's packaged for television. I mean, they cut, 10, 20 laps off the race because of TV time?
Just to make it fit?
Yeah.
Don Hawk.
It's kind of like wrestling.
Don Hawk says that, or told all the drivers before the race started that not to wreck their cars because they didn't bring backups. They didn't have them. They've torn up too many cars this year. No backups. You wreck it, you're SOL. And you're SOL. I mean, you had, shocker, the Cody Ware of SRX, Paul Tracy wrecks again.
Maybe they should put him in spandex and a tight...
That's what I think.
Tight tank top.
I think you should
give him a belt.
I think Paul Tracy should drive for Rick Ware and Cody should drive SRX next season.
Well, that'd be cool.
Or why don't SRX get Quinn Hoof? You know what I'm talking about,
yeah,
right?
I know.
The DBC guy everybody made fun of.
Uh-huh.
Quint. Is he a Quentin or Quinn? I can't remember. But the one that the Dillon brothers have replaced. That guy. They should get him to come drive in the SRX series.
Get the Dillon brothers. They're not doing much in NASCAR Cup Series.
Well, so I heard rumor, probably not true,
the Dillons are going to...
They were going to go to SRX and race, but they told them, we don't have enough cars for y'all. I mean, we have one car apiece for you, but we know you need two because you like to wreck.
Well, they were talking about it being the Blaney Battle of Ohio. Maybe they should get the LaJoys to race next year, if there is a series. And
I don't think there will be.
And here's what I think. I think Tony's got too many sticks in that fire. He's got his drag team. And I'm not talking about women or men that dress like women. Drag racing. And Tony's got his
there was anybody confused
series.
About that.
Well, just in case. I mean, I want to be specific. I don't want to be canceled. But I think if SRX went away, Tony's Cup team might do better.
I think you got something on that because, look, is it a coincidence that his Cup team has sucked since the SRX series has started? Probably. Does Tony really have that much input? Probably not. But I think
if Harvick says, Tony, this is the problem?
I think Tony's presence at the shop would improve the performance of the team.
Yeah.
Yes. So I agree. I think it's a coincidence that since the SRX series started, their performance has dropped.
I don't think it's a coincidence.
I do. But I still think it's a product of it too, in a sense.
Or is it his drivers are so freaking old they can't adapt to the new car where their youngster has?
Yeah, I think that's probably a lot to do with it too. I think you see it though.
Briscoe won
across the series. I mean, Chase is a young guy. Tyler Reddick, Daniel Suarez. Look, the whole NASCAR series is scratching their head right now, trying to figure out why the heck Trackhouse is so good.
Hamlin and Kyle Busch and Kurt. Who's young? I mean, who else is old? Am I missing an old person? I don't think so.
Martin Truex.
He hasn't won.
Oh, you're talking about this one?
The winners. Yeah,
that's it. But really, I mean, age-wise, most of the drivers are young except for Gibbs.
And
Harvick.
In SHR.
Well, I mean, you got
should we call it SHRX? Shirix.
The Sure series. The Sure race team.
Do you think since Tony Stewart's wife's team drives for Dodge is going to make a comeback and Tony Stewart's going to be the anchor team?
I think that there will be a new team coming into NASCAR soon. Honestly, I hope it's not Dodge. I mean, I would rather see Toyota. I mean, Honda.
Yeah, Toyota ought to come back, I think.
I think Toyota would fit very well in this area. No, I'd like to see Honda.
I'd like to see a Volkswagen Passat going around.
Volkswagen, I'd be cool with that.
Yeah, they're like
something
the second biggest car in the world.
I would just
manufacturer.
I would like to see something new. You know what I mean? Like
Dodge dips in and out constantly. Yeah. It's kind of
let's bring pointless. Pontiac back. We'll bring them back all together. Just so
they can be on NASCAR. Yeah. They can make what mandatory 500 cars.
Yeah, whatever it is, and they'll all be Cup cars.
Well, let's bring Oldsmobile back too. They're gone.
Let's do it. I'm game, man. Just for the Cup Series. All right. So, raced at Pocono. Chandler Smith leads 49 of 60 laps to win the Truck Series. Did you watch that?
I did.
I did, but it was very uneventful. Very odd.
I thought all the races were a little boring.
They were, but as we progressed in series, they added new things to each series that made it better. Like for Noah Gragson won the Xfinity race, but he took the lead with like 22, 23 laps to go. And watching him and Ty Gibbs fight for the lead at the end was phenomenal. Every single lap.
Ty didn't do what he normally would have done.
No, Ty and Noah didn't do what he normally would have done.
Each one of them would have done a pit maneuver on the other and flipped them out.
They both raced clean. And Noah couldn't make a mistake. I mean, Ty was ready. If Noah would have slipped up whatsoever, Ty was going to go by him. I mean, it was guaranteed almost.
I'm going to say this about Ty.
I'm a
perfect replacement for Kyle. I think he's arrogant, but damn, he's a good driver. He is a fantastic driver. I
think Noah Gragson's proven why his name should be thrown into that hat for Cup Series drivers next year.
Well, we know where an opening's going to be.
42.
And 18.
Yeah, but I think Gibbs gets it over Gragson for the 18.
Unless Gibbs stays true.
What if Kurt's concussion that he suffered from on Friday during practice
puts him out like junior?
Yeah.
Could.
I mean, Kurt's up there in age. We know next year's probably his final year.
Isn't he the second oldest driver behind Harvick?
Yeah. So
he's like a year younger.
We 45. Know, but I think he's already said next year's most likely his last year. So why risk it?
He's probably got $100 million banked somewhere.
Well, Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch dominate the race pretty much yesterday. Denny Hamlin.
What? Is that a segue?
Denny Hamlin crosses the finish line first.
He did cross it first. I saw it.
And
Kyle also finished second.
Kyle crossed it second. So
Denny crossed it. I'm sorry.
And Chase won it third. Did I always say that? I don't even know how to, like, Chase never led a lap, and he won the race. Like,
well, he led the last lap.
So
if you pretend the first two didn't cross it.
Yeah, it's so strange. I mean, this hasn't happened since 1960.
I wasn't even born then.
I wasn't either. I didn't even know the guys who were involved in it. Joe Weatherly won the race.
I know the name.
I knew that name, but the other guy's name I didn't know, nor could I pronounce it.
Isn't
so
Weatherly in the Hall of Fame?
I don't know that. I just know the name.
He won a Daytona.
I've watched enough NASCAR shows to know the name. So there has currently been 2,763 votes on the Jeff Gluck Was It a Good Race poll as of this recording.
Wow, I'm shocked.
Yeah, Jamie's one of the people who doesn't vote anymore because it's too complicated.
It is too difficult. I'm done.
Yeah, Grandpa over there.
I can give the 1 out of 10.
So the poll has 78% saying yes, 21% say no. I voted no. And out of a scale of 1 to 10, I gave it a 5. Because as you know, a 5 could go yes or no.
If it didn't take those 3 extra clicks, I would have voted no.
2 extra clicks. 1, 2.
Well, I've just gave up, so I don't count those anyway.
So
I studied history because of math.
You would have gave it 6?
Well, I'll give it a 6 out of 10 on our backwards burnout gauge.
Would you vote it a no or a yes then on Gluck's poll?
That's a close one. I still would have gone no.
A 6 is a no.
Degree of difficulty to vote pissed me off. So,
well, I can't vote for you.
I'm not asking you to. I'm just not participating anymore.
Do you think?
And I think this is way off. 78%? No.
So NASCAR's DQ'd the race winner, Denny Hamlin.
Do you think people were excited about the DQs and got on late and voted?
Yes, because I checked earlier. I voted when there was only 300 and something votes, and it was 70% yes. So it's come up 8% since more than 600 people voted.
Damn it, man. I was happy for Hamlin.
I was cool with it. Watching his daughter ride around, it was just cool all the way around. It was a cool dad moment.
She was crying.
Yeah, she was
so happy.
That's what I mean. It was a cool moment as a dad to see him as a dad be a dad. It was a cool moment. And then I turned the TV off like I usually do when the race is over and moved on to nothing else. And then I get on Twitter.
Yeah, you texted me and said, Chase won the race. And I was like, that was last night in SRX.
I was just curious if you saw it. So,
nah, I was on to other things.
So NASCAR disqualified Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch from the finishing results. So first and second moved to last and laster.
Now, did you have to do what I did? I had to Google the word fascia.
No, I knew what that was. That's the front of the...
I thought that was Formica.
Formica? Formaldehyde?
I thought maybe that was the front of your... Countertop.
That's a Formica?
Yeah.
It's like what this is. I think this is actually marble. Sounds real. Sound real to you?
I'm not a
Looks real.
geologist, so I'm going to go with whatever you say. I don't even play one on TV.
I think it came from IKEA, so it's probably real. So NASCAR won't say exactly what Joe Gibbs did, but apparently during post-race inspection, they removed some of the graphics from the car, and something on the front face of the front end of the car gave them an aerodynamic advantage. NASCAR disqualified them. Because of the appeals process, and as of right now, we don't know if they've appealed or not, NASCAR hasn't said exactly to the T what they did.
I can tell you what happened.
They cheated.
But
dude, there's no doubt in my mind
God did it.
There's no doubt in my mind they cheated.
Oh, they cheated, but God did it.
No.
After Hamlin won, old Joe Gibbs huddles up with the team, says a prayer, and thanks God for allowing them to win. And then Jesus said, no.
You cheated.
You cheated.
You broke one of the commandments.
He talked to one of the inspectors and said, peel back the wrap.
Well, they do that every week. So that's what somebody had mentioned on something on Twitter about it. And they're like, no, Packer said they do this every week. They pull the wrap back.
Well, haven't they won enough to know that by now?
You would think. So to me, they were cheating. It was obvious. Kyle Busch and Denny Hamlin together led 84 of 160 laps. Lap 2, Kyle Busch had a 3-second lead. Lap 4, Kyle Busch had a 7-second lead.
Didn't he get up to a 12?
Tell me he wasn't cheating. Lap 4. Dude, 4.
I think
That's
whatever
10 miles.
it did gave
10
them
miles,
more
he
down.
got a 7-second lead.
They got more downforce somehow.
They got cheated.
Well, yeah,
Cheated
they
up.
got cheated.
Them cars was cheated up. And it's you don't lead that much and pull that far away if you're not cheating.
Well, the old saying, if you don't get caught, you're not cheating. Well, they got caught. They were cheating.
Well, I'm just glad to see NASCAR do it. You know, they come out with this over the winter before the season even started with this L1, L2, L3 penalty thing. And they're like, yes, we will not play around. Well, they haven't. Earlier in the season, Brad Keselowski gets an L2 penalty with Roush Fenway Keselowski Racing. And he is issued a $100,000 fine, the loss of 100 driver points and owner points, and docked 10 playoff points, and his crew chief was suspended for 4 weeks. Interestingly enough, Brad Keselowski is still negative 10 playoff points because he hasn't earned them back yet. But do you see NASCAR hitting Joe Gibbs with a L2 penalty after they DQ'd him? So they lost race-winning purse. They lost second-place purse. They lost first and second-place points. They lost all playoff points earned.
They lost a lot.
I don't know that they lost 100 owner-driver points, $100,000 worth. Maybe the $100,000 worth they lost because of race-winning points or race-winning payout. But I still think, me personally, in my opinion, they got DQ'd for cheating. If whatever they did to cheat violates what earns an L2 penalty, they should also be given an L2 penalty on top of being disqualified. That's just my opinion. That's keeping it consistent. That's not pulling a Christopher Bell, Austin Cindric. It's keeping the crap consistent.
Well, here's the thing.
They're not consistent?
They're not.
So what do you think happens? Do you think they get it? Do you think
I think
they
the
get a
penalty of just taking the wins and second place away is pretty rough.
So you don't think they get hit with a monetary penalty of 100 or something?
Oh no, they might get 100,000. I don't know if they'll get any, additional points taken out. But I don't know. I do have this idea though. What do you think we could get paid as a advertising agent if we found a sponsor for Kyle Busch? We get 3-5%.
What do you want to go start shopping for sponsors?
Well,
for?
We talk about him all the time, and his initials are KFB. Has anyone gone to Kentucky Fried Chicken?
KFC.
And they could just call him Kentucky Fried Busch.
KFB wins at KFC. Yeah, maybe
They could go to Nashville and it's close to Kentucky. Sponsor the KFB 500.
Yeah, I think Kyle Busch is done at Joe Gibbs.
Yeah, he's done.
I just don't see him staying.
His fascia is fricked up, man.
He's
got a bad fascia.
He's going somewhere else.
Does that mean you didn't shave right with a bad fascia?
Your bad fascia? You got a bad fascia. You ugly. You got a bad fascia. All right, Kurt Busch is involved in a wreck during practice. So I've heard conflicting stories here.
Got a headache.
I've heard NASCAR didn't clear him, and then I heard NASCAR did clear him after the wreck. He went back to NASCAR Sunday morning before the Cup race and said he still didn't feel good. He was still having concussion-like symptoms, so then NASCAR wouldn't let him race. I don't think Kurt wanted to race anyway.
What if he wore the new style helmets from the NFL instead of a racing helmet? Because those are made for concussions. They've been all through the concussion thing.
What concussion? Testing?
Right, the NFL, they got sued by the retired people that have lost their minds.
Yeah, well, the helmet's just...
Well, they've redesigned it. What if you just...
That's all it is, CY. You can't prevent concussions. I mean,
what if you just wore that new football helmet in your race car?
I think the race car helmet's safer than a football helmet.
Yeah, I just want them to look stupid, but anyway.
Well, I mean, one of them Joe Gibbs boys, they could grab one of the...
yeah, Redskins.
They're not Redskins.
Oh, no, they're the Commanders? Commodores?
No, they got a name? They're not just called Washington Football Team?
Yeah, they called them something.
They got a real name. All right, well, Kurt has to sit out, and he had a super sub fill in, and Ty Gibbs. That was the first time Ty Gibbs had ever been in one of those cars on track. It's his first ever
finished
Cup race.
18th, but then
16th.
it became 16th.
Dude, I'm telling you right now,
It was very impressive for his first race.
that has to make Joe Gibbs feel a lot better about his Kyle Busch negotiations not going so well.
See ya.
Yeah. And it's got to make Kyle think, too, like,
Uh-oh.
wait a minute.
I should have taken that $10 million
I'm not
cut.
what I thought I was. Well, the newest rumor on the street.
Do you think being an a-hole is the reason he can't find a sponsor? He's an a-hole.
I think you need to go find a brand that fits that personality. So like
See, I think Mars left because he's an a-hole.
I think like a Harry's shave or something like that.
Hell's Angels.
Hell's Angels.
Yeah.
Mike's Hard Lemonade. Something edgy. I guess Mike's Hard Lemonade's not edgy.
It's kind of like, I don't know. That's like a Segway drink, isn't it?
Some Boone's.
Give it to your kids and they
Boone's
can
Farm
go.
wine.
Then they're hitting vodka a year later. Just hammered, alcoholic, won't go to work.
Not your kids. Mike's Hard Lemonade. Come here, buddy.
I mean,
Mike's Hard.
We got 3 Chi, which is Delta 8.
Might as well bring Mike's Hard Lemonade in.
Yeah, bring in Tilray, the marijuana.
I think that's
people.
what you need. That's who can afford. Kyle Busch needs to know who can afford him.
What if
There
he
you go.
smoked a joint before each race? He'd be pretty chill, wouldn't he?
Just smoked one after.
Instead of screaming at his
I think-
crew, he'd be going, "Hey guys, that was like really slow, man. But you know, it's
Coach-
all good, dude."
Coach Gibbs walk up after the race, just hand him a joint. Like, you
Yeah.
have to smoke this before you can get out of the car. And Kyle would get out and like, dude.
Definitely needs to smoke a joint before he goes to the media center when he wins.
No, he just wanted like,
It's all good, man. It's all good.
All right, newest rumor on the street concerning KFB is that he will be going to
He's
Richard Childress Racing
done.
in 2023. Tyler Reddick will be moving over to the 18 car for 1 year, and then Ty Gibbs will take over the 18 car in 24 when Reddick goes to 23.
What if Ty Gibbs takes over the 45? Then would you slide Kyle over to the 45
No, what you
and
do?
bring Ty into the 18?
This is what you do.
Race for granddaddy?
You send Kyle to RCR next year. You put Reddick in the 45 because Kurt's hurt now and he doesn't want to die or have long-term
Does RCR have the
effects.
sponsorship to bring in Kyle?
3Chi. We just said it. Who's got the money? I mean, okay, 3Chi's Delta 8, but it's still a marijuana product.
Oh, yeah, that's a hemp-derived,
And I say that in the most positive
get
way
you
possible.
high.
So they've got the money. That's what I'm getting at. That's an industry that's got the money to support Kyle Busch. And here you go. This is how it's going to play out. Kyle Busch gets a 2-year deal from RCR. 3Chi is going to be his main sponsor.
Kyle
Listen, hear
Busch,
me out. Hear me out.
He's too high strung.
Hear me out. Kyle Busch goes to RCR in 2023 and chills out. That's the gimmick. That's the marketing pitch. Kyle Busch goes to RCR, quits
That's the
complaining.
only way it'd work.
He quits complaining. He quits whining. He runs there for 2 years. And when they ask him anything, he's like, 3Chi, man, 3Chi.
I mean, what do you
3Chi.
think kept me from graduating after 4 years in
3Chi.
college?
Oh, you did 7 years of college.
I did do 7.
Because
but-
3Chi
It wasn't legal when I was doing it 20-some years ago.
didn't have a brand
But you
name
know
like
what?
3Chi.
The biggest fight I got into with a roommate doing the old water bong was, dude,
Cheetos.
who ate all my Cheetos, man? And my buddy said, I'll share some of my Doritos with you, dude. And that was a fight.
I think Kyle's definitely gone from Gibbs.
I think so. It sounds like Gibbs has given up on him.
He does. And Kyle was a douchebag to Gibbs yesterday. Like,
Yeah, wouldn't even look him in the
he
eye.
come over like he's going to put his arm on Kyle's shoulder and Kyle snatched it away.
He was like, get away from me, old man.
There's not a nicer guy out there. Well, I mean, there probably is, but he's one of the nice guys. How about
Unless you're not winning, he'll cut your ass.
Only if you're a young kid.
He'll pull out his box blade and cut your ass.
Well, he's done it to quite a few.
Yeah, half of the field.
We were talking about them Dillon bullets earlier. The Dillon boys, Ty Dillon on lap 84.
You mean Spin and Spinny?
I mean, dude, I just don't get it. Did Ty Dillon overcorrect yet again 2 weeks in a row? 3 weeks in a row, whatever it's been now?
Maybe there's an invisible car out there the government's testing.
Like I said, Ty's taking Quentin Huff's place because now we know instead of a debris caution, we're going to get a Ty Dillon caution every single week. Petty GMS is the one who lucked out on getting rid of him because obviously Petty GMS has good cars. Eric Jones has run good every week. Yeah. Eric Jones
is a contender, man.
He finished 9th yesterday after the DQs. So,
and I wouldn't be surprised if he wins before the playoffs.
Nope. I don't know if we're going to have more than 16 winners. But
you got what, 5 races?
Yeah, but we've got some doozies.
This is our 25th episode.
Yeah.
5 divided into 25 is 5, and 5 times 5 is 25.
Man, our English is usually not this good.
Well, I was doing the math while I was looking at episode 25 written over there.
You wrote it all down?
I used my calculator on my phone.
Well, by my math, after the DQ yesterday, Chase Elliott now becomes the first fourth-time race winner this season.
He's shoe-in for the championship race, man. Final 4.
What's funny is before...
He needs to be third behind Denny and Busch more often.
When I was putting these notes together during the race yesterday, I made the note or wrote the note down. Denny Hamlin, with this win, Denny Hamlin proves why he's a shoe-in to win the championship. We take the win away. He goes from 3 to 2. Chase goes from 3 to 4. And now the headline still fits with Chase Elliott. But reporters have asked Chase Elliott about how he feels about this race, and he's not very happy about it.
Isn't it kind of like a rain delay race?
Look, somebody on XM radio called in and put it the best. They said that Chase was the first non-cheated up car to cross the finish line. He worked all day to get to third. So if you would have had those 2 cheated up cars not in the race at all,
do you think
he would have been first?
They inspect Cody Ware's car at all?
Cody Ware never finishes better than 38th. So
well, he might be cheated up and just not able to make it better than 25th.
Yeah, but they don't. Why would you care if the guy finishing dead last is cheating?
I know. It's not like
he can't even finish the
He doesn't even have points to take away from.
Actually, we haven't talked about Cody in a while, so that's a good thing.
Well, the problem...
Did he race yesterday?
I don't know. We met him at the 600 and liked him. That's our problem.
He finished 26 in the Nurtec ODT Ford. He was on the lead lap.
Wow.
He finished ahead of...
You're right. The Dillon brothers have taken the place of Huff and Cody Ware.
Told you. It's getting crazy, man.
Cody's finished some races this year.
I mean, Ty Dillon finished ahead of Cody Ware still, but Cody didn't wreck. Ty wrecked.
But his grandfather invented the car we're racing right now.
So before the disqualification came, the main headline from yesterday's race was pretty much going to be Denny Hamlin running Ross Chastain
high. That was awesome.
Putting him into the wall. Oh, you text me. You're like, you're going to love what happens on lap 17 or 18, whatever it was. And I did.
Boy, DQ, I see it on our notes here. It makes me want to stop at Dairy Queen and get
the same thing when I typed it.
I don't think there's one on the way home, though. That sucks.
So Ross, they interviewed Ross after the wreck, and they asked Ross what he thought. And Ross says, I deserve this. I've been expecting it for weeks. I'm glad it happened.
Did you like his response?
Dude, I think Ross is a sissy.
I want to punch him in the face.
Just man up, dude. Ross should have got out, and when they said, Ross, what do you think? He should have said, screw Denny, but we're even, and walked off. Said it with an attitude. I don't know. I want Ross to own it, man.
I want him to get mad.
Yeah. And quit being such a sissy boy. I mean, just own it. Get mad.
Can you say sissy boy?
I just did.
Ooh.
I just did. And I'm not apologizing for it because Ross needs to stop apologizing. That's his dang problem. He apologizes too much. Ross is more inconsistent than NASCAR. One week I meant to do it.
I have a cousin named Sissy.
What?
I have a cousin named Sissy.
Do you?
I think you ought to apologize to her.
Well, I apologize, cousin named Sissy.
Tebby.
Yeah. What says Sissy?
They call her Sissy, too.
What's her name, Sissy or Tebby?
Well, it's whatever you call her. One of those two.
What's on her birth certificate?
Oh, it's a whole different name, which I don't know anymore.
Why should I have to apologize?
I don't even know what her real name is. Teresa, I think. I think she's still alive.
Her name's...
She lives in Chattanooga.
Sissy, Tessie, Teresa...
Tebby.
Tebby?
Sissy, Tebby, Teresa.
What?
And then she has a nephew that calls her Aunt Tay Tay.
Aunt Tay Tay?
Because they couldn't say Tebby.
I like that.
Or Sissy.
Well, I'm going to call her Aunt Tay Tay.
So, geez, I don't know what you call her now. I'm confused.
Aunt Tay Tay, if me saying Sissy offends you, I apologize, Aunt Tay Tay. You feel better now?
Aunt Sissy.
Aunt Sissy Tay Tay?
Cousin Sissy. I don't know why I call her Aunt. Oh, she's my mother's age. That's why.
So you call her Aunt?
Yeah. Still on painkillers, guys.
Oh, I guess we should have put that.
5 more days of painkillers.
That should have been a disclosure.
Not Delta 8, though. Maybe I should stop at that weird gas station and get some Delta 8 on the way home. Try it with some... I don't even know what my drug is. Titular? Tangalore? Bangalore?
Did you see Jeb Burton flip over?
Yeah, that was a great flip. That was about...
I would have gave him a 10.
Yeah, that was a 10 out of 10 flip.
That was a good flip. I mean, it was just clean, right onto the head. Mm-hmm. Then he slipped for 300 yards.
Did you notice they flipped him over in like 2 minutes instead of 10?
I timed it on my watch. As soon as safety arrived at the car, it was 2 minutes and 43 seconds.
They figured out how to bring him back upright.
Well, they were tired of reading all the Twitter comments about how dumb they were. Taking 10 minutes.
They probably should stop listening to our podcast.
Well, the 26 of Ferrucci gets loose, causing Stenhouse Jr. in the 48 to spin.
Is that how you pronounce Ferrucci?
Jeff Burton gets into Stenhouse, flipping over and sliding down the front straightaway. I'm going with Ferrucci.
Well, he should be driving for the Hunt Brothers Pizza. He sounds like a pizza maker.
Ferrucci?
Yeah, doesn't he sound
What's his first name?
Guido Ferrucci. In my opinion, it's Guido Ferrucci.
I'm glad that Jeb's okay. Jeb got out of the car, said he was fine. It just seems like Jeb's had a rough couple weeks here lately. It's like he's been a magnet to wrecks. Just seems that's how it goes. I mean,
maybe he can take over the 21 car from his cousin.
Maybe. I think Harrison's a better driver.
What's the best finish Harrison's had?
You would have to put those two in like equal cars to see who's the better. Because they
both have won. So
you look at you listen to the Burton Continuum too. So you got the Harrison boys. One's in the Cup car. One's struggling to stay in an Xfinity ride. But if you look at the dads, one's on NBC as a broadcaster.
The other's in the woods killing
snakes, critters. Yeah. So. It's a money thing. That's
Do you
all it
think?
is. Jeff had more money.
How does Ward have such a weird accent, dude?
Because he grew up on the other side of the house.
Did he? I heard that. But
somebody asked Jeff that one time, and Ward grew up down the hall on the other side of the house.
Or was it that time in the years he lived in the woods, he forgot how to talk to other people? Because that is just a bizarre accent, dude.
Well, it's like Elliott Sadler.
I mean, I got cousins that were born.
I like the Sadler accent, too.
I like the Sadler accent.
Did you ever listen to Marty and McGee back in the day when it was a podcast only and they would do what Elliott Sadler would say?
Actually, yeah, but I stopped listening to them when they went mainstream.
I did, too. I haven't listened since. That back in the day was a NASCAR podcast only. When they went mainstream, they talked about everything else, and I didn't care about anything else. Still don't. But I admit that was around the time ESPN lost the Xfinity race, too. So ESPN wasn't going to keep dumping money into Marty and McGee to talk about NASCAR every week.
I want to put a little message in here.
Uh-oh.
For Dale Jr. and his download. Please, Dale.
Season for free, Dale.
Please, Dale. Stop doing the best ofs.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan, dude. Stop.
I listen every week, so I don't need a recap.
Just don't do it. Just say we're not making an episode next week. Please.
All right, well, Pocono.
Love you, though.
Pocono wasn't the most exciting race, but now we're going to Indy, to the road course, the home of the Shish Show 2021, where the track was falling apart and cars were literally flying through the air.
They were hitting them turtle bumps.
I don't know that we fixed it. I think it's going to be... I don't think we see a whole lot different than we saw last year, to be honest with you.
Think there's going to be a lot of ass showing there?
Oh, yeah. It's going to be...
There's going to be some tempers, man.
I think it's just going to be a mess.
It's going to be a crash derby.
Yeah, I do too. That's exactly what I think. But if
They won't be holding revenge for the next race. They're going to take it out on the course.
No, that's a fact. So if me and you were going to go, which we're not, but if we were, and I wish we were, where would we not want to be staying at?
I'm going to go back to what I've said. People from the Northeast and Midwest, they're not very chatty. But
You got cool names.
I can tell you this. There are a shit ton of Wyndhams in Indianapolis. Most of these, with one exception, is a Wyndham.
That's all them crack hotels that the Wyndham bought.
You know, I've never really...
Chris Buescher is sponsored by Wyndham. When you sent me that text...
That was so funny.
When you sent me that text, I read it and I'm like, oh, Chris Buescher must wreck here in a few laps. And then I saw it and I finally could see his car clearly. And I'm like, holy crap, he really is sponsored by Wyndham. So...
No, what we should do?
Our hotel segments can be brought to you by Chris Buescher.
When I was driving my son from Georgia to Boston when he was in college, in Parsippany, New Jersey, I saw the world headquarters for Wyndham.
You should have stopped.
Well, I'm thinking now maybe you and I should do a consulting firm and inspect hotels for them. What do you think? $250,000 a piece plus expenses a year?
Probably. I'd do it for that.
Yeah.
You would have to pay me that for me to actually stay in one of their hotels.
Well, we'd bring our own blankets, our own covers, our own pillows, roach spray, roach motels, because some of their hotels are literally roach motels. But anyway, this is Meow Sup LOL.
Meow Sup.
And it's, guess what? Days in Wyndham.
Yeah, it's her real name?
I hope not.
She stayed at a Wyndham, though.
I saw her picture on the Google review. I think she's too old to have been called LOL.
Meow Suplo.
Unless that's a last name, it's what? What would you say? That's Italian? Lol? That's Canadian.
Maybe
dude.
there's a letter missing. Maybe it's Suplo.
Lola?
Maybe it's Meowa Suplomo.
Well, she gave it a 1 out of 5. She said, husband and I booked a room. We left to go get dinner. 20 minutes later, we came back. They must have gone to McDonald's. Back to our door, wide open, in my purse, 2 iPhones, my clothes, hygiene products, gone. I would not steal hygiene products.
Well, maybe if you stop.
Even if I was a crackhead, meth head idiot. Hygiene, like, did they steal her toothbrush?
Well, that's how you can find who did it. You just go to the meth
guy with
shack and
rotten teeth.
The cleanest person there stole her hygiene.
You go to the homeless tents under the highway.
Yep, find the clean guy.
So they went to the front desk. Man was very unprofessional and nonchalant and said, we left our door open. Actually, it looks like he shouted it, exclamation point. You left the door open. No, we did not. That's how she wrote it. Upon asking to review the cameras, he said, our cameras are down right now. Someone there has keys they are using to come back to a lady with blue hair sprawled out in the hallway, completely tweaked out. Oh, she shouted that. Completely tweaked out. I'm thankful I do not have my children. This was the worst customer service I've ever experienced. Place is a trap house. Steer clear. Oh, no. Steer clear! Very far away.
What's a trap house?
We've had a bunch of people say trap houses.
Yeah, and I have no idea what a trap house is.
To be honest with you, I imagine it's a crack house with cops waiting for you because it's a trap. But I don't know.
See, I was thinking like a bordello or something.
I'll Google it tonight. I'll finally Google it. If I remember. I do have my 5
something
PM,
to do with tweakers.
My 5 p.m. pill. Maybe I'll turn into a tweaker.
Maybe. My
doctor said I'd have two days of mild withdrawal.
Come downs.
Yeah.
It's always convenient that the cameras are down, too, when this crap goes down. It's like, oh, somebody broke in the room.
They're just fake ones.
It was probably the manager who broke in, stole her pain pills or whatever she said stole.
Now, I did go to Wyndham, their website, to look at their brands.
Yeah.
They own a ton of crappy hotels.
Yeah, they are the crappy hotel.
Yeah, the chain crappy.
So they can. That's why they sponsor
Motel
Chris
6.
Buescher. They can afford it. They own all
Super
the
8.
crappy hotels.
They're all buy Wyndhams. They might want to, with their franchise agreement, say, hey, don't put buy Wyndham on anything.
That's what I'd say. Or just change all the hotels to Wyndham. Get rid of Days Inn, Super 8.
So you know immediately it's a...
Well, Wyndham sounds fancier than Motel 8. Or Motel 6.
Super 6. I don't know.
Motel 4.
One of them is either the 8 or the 6 they leave the light on.
It's the Crackhead 4.
Could be. Why didn't you just call it Seahead?
All right, where are we going next?
Surprise, surprise, surprise. Super 8 by Wyndham. This is Chris Jessup.
Like a wrestler.
Surprise, surprise, surprise. That's Andy Griffith, isn't
It's
it?
not Jessup.
No, that's a goober.
But that's not Jessup.
Uncle Jesse. Woohoo! Gonna ride the Jubilee and jump over a creek. Woohoo! Come on, Uncle Jesse.
Roscoe P. Cole train.
Uh-huh. So, Chris Jessup gives it a 1 out of 5.
Friggin' idiot. Good.
He goes straight down the hall.
Good Lord. I mean, right away.
No, actually,
right away.
hold it. No, he halfway goes down. He doesn't say, I wish I could give it 0 stars.
He just says
He
0
says
stars.
0 stars. So,
Period.
he found a loophole.
I still think he's an idiot.
Yeah. But then he says, do not stay here. Is all caps the same as an exclamation point?
Yeah, we'll go with that.
All right, so I'll do it as he wrote it. 0 stars. Do not stay here. But then he quiets up and says, spend the extra couple dollars and stay at the Holiday Inn or Comfort Inn just down the street. Roaches in rooms,
That's standard.
in the hallways, and to top it off, roaches crawling throughout the breakfast area.
Thank God they're not in the lunch area
Ugh. You know,
or the dinner area.
they probably just give Pop-Tarts, eat it cold, because you know those roaches are in the toaster, dude.
It's a Capri Sun and
Yeah.
half a Pop-Tart
Just-
from the lady with the gold gym gloves on.
Yeah, the anorexic crackhead lady.
Just see her after she steals your hygiene stuff.
Place should be shut down by the Board of Health. Well, I'm going to tell you guys right now,
They don't care.
they don't really give a damn.
All they're there to do is hear your complaint, write it down on a sticky note.
Charge you a fine, collect the fine, and let you keep renting out by the hour. To roaches.
They probably just send them a bill like, this is your monthly health fell,
Yeah, you already
Bill.
failed.
$150
But we haven't shut you down yet.
cash.
What do you think takes them to get shut down? Murders?
I doubt that. They probably shut that one room down. For
We
like a
probably
day.
need an area for murders.
You probably have a certain room. Like, oh, he was murdered in this room, but we'll move him to this room because it's the murder room. We
Yeah,
keep it
it's
closed off.
Room 666.
It's the murder room. The 66th room on the 6th floor is the murder room.
Oh.
Never stay in it.
To make things worse, hotel manager is a thief. He will look for any reason to pocket your $100 deposit. And if he can't find a reason, he'll make one up. So you know you're in a crappy hotel when they take a deposit.
Yeah, I've never had that happen.
Can't they pre-charge a credit card and then release it to 0 by the next day? I don't know. Absolute crook. He went all caps with an exclamation point. Absolute crook! He kept my deposit on multiple occasions. Uh-oh, this guy's a frequent user.
He's a frequent Super 8er.
So why does he still go back? I don't trust the review anymore. On top of keeping my deposit, the manager waited till after I paid for additional nights and then called the police to have me escorted off the property. I would have had any problem leaving, but he wouldn't refund my money for the days I paid for. Again, absolute crook. I called Wyndham. Might as well call the health department, dude. To make them aware of the type of business practices that they are being used at this location. But they stated there was nothing they could do.
Because they know.
All they want's that franchise fee. That's all they want.
That's all they care about. They sell the use of the name Wyndham.
So Wyndham is as much to blame as the hotel management. Another reason not to stay here. If you have an issue with the hotel, Wyndham will not assist you in any way. Well, maybe they should give us, you and me, benefits, $250,000 apiece, and plus travel cost. And we'll inspect these things for them.
I'm not doing it for any less than $250,000.
Yeah. And we're using their credit card to make the reservation.
Yeah, and they're paying for travel.
Yeah.
Because we're going to, what we'll do, they need to buy race tickets too.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So we'll follow the race circuit and we'll stay in a Wyndham at every race. We'll stay in a Wyndham hotel.
Stay for all 2 or 3 races and go to 3 different Wyndhams.
Yeah, not only are we inspecting the quality of the hotel, but
the friendliness of the staff.
We're promoting it to the NASCAR community. All the fans of NASCAR that go to that track will know Wyndhams are safe to stay in again.
Yeah, there's no poop on the toilet seat that the other people did.
We'll help clean it up.
That could be part of their marketing. We'll clean the poop up.
Making Wyndham great again.
There you go.
That's what we're going to do. Making Wyndham great.
What's that, a Wagga instead of a MAGA? A Wagga. Isn't that a beef that costs a lot of money in Japan?
Wagyu.
Wagyu, that's it. Let's just call it the Wagyu plan.
Have you ever had Wagyu?
It's good.
It's pretty good.
We had it at the top floor of that business trip at that fancy hotel that charged us $100 a piece for our hamburger.
Yeah,
it was not
wasn't even good.
No,
they put that liver pate on top of it. I think it was run by Wyndham too. The restaurant
could have been.
It was restaurant by Wyndham. Wagyu by Wyndham.
Five Guys is a little greasy, but that would have been better.
I love Five Guys. I love their fries.
What's that other place that's up north of us?
Up north.
Yeah, it's in Norcross, Marietta.
White Castle?
Burger Fi. They got better fries than Five Guys.
No, I like Five Guys. That's just my favorite. Wahlburgers has good burgers.
Oh, yeah, I went there once for a Braves game.
They have pretty good burgers. We've had a lot of burgers together. We usually target burgers and pizza when we travel.
Oh, there's a new burger joint in Riverdale, just up the road.
Let me check it out.
It's rated 4.8 with 1,200 reviews.
All right, let's get back.
That's next Monday.
Where are we going? Where are we going next in Indy?
I think it's another Wyndham. Oh, no, it's not. It's the unaffiliated Skyline Motel.
It's from Ms. Understood.
Ms. Understood.
Stud.
She gave it on Google 1 out of 5.
Do you think this is a woman? I'm thinking it's a man. Ms. MZ Understood. S-T-U-D. Stud.
Read her math here. She's worse than us.
Understood.
She is.
All right, let's go.
All right.
Let's rock and roll.
Mice infested. Roach infested. Gnat infested. And also has mold and mildew. I think she should have used some commas there.
Dude, she spelled gnat right, though.
Then she goes lowercase after the period. She calls the owner out by name. The owner, Nyla Patel, response to these issues are as follows.
How do you know it's Nyla? I was thinking Nilla.
Like Nilla Wafer? All right, Nilla, I don't care.
Nyla Patel.
Now, number 1 is THW. What is that, Thu?
Thu nice.
Thu nice, eat up your food. Soap.
I think it meant the mice.
It would have to be they.
No, the mice eat up
the mice eat up your food is what they were trying to say in our opinion.
Yeah, in our opinion. Because it says Thu nice.
It looks like the mice also ate the soup. Or is that soap?
Soap.
Toothpaste.
Bags,
etc. There must have been food in the bags. I was given a mouse trap. They gave her a mouse trap when she complained?
Yep.
That's horrible.
Here's a trap.
Then Nila Patel told all residents if she finds out that we have put rat poison down to try to stop the infestation, we would be out without a refund because she doesn't kill animals. Really? You need to kill animals, Nila.
Yeah. You can't let them live there.
I was given a gift to help me get on my feet. Seeing that I was fresh here... What is fresh meat prison there? What in the world?
Why does that matter?
She walked down the hallway and they said, fresh meat.
It's a motel, not a hostel.
Wow. Wow.
She's fresh there.
With a wife and son. Oh, it's a dude.
I told you it was a dude.
But it's Ms. Understood.
It's Ms. MZ. Like Ms.
Huh.
Like a wrestler. Like Ms. the wrestler.
Huh.
I've thrown your whole thing off.
Wife and son and dog were with him. With wife and son and a dog. Too many ands. They should have used commas again. Anyway. Grieving the passing of my mom. Knowing I was and still is struggling hard paying $240 a week. Oh, it's a weekly.
Oh, here we go.
Since
It's all making sense.
Oof. I took the gift and paid my room up for a month with permission. And a week later, she comes to me and say that the person who card it is has to come in person. Even though my people called and verified action. What?
Oh.
Nila Patel would not honor my 960. To this day, my 960 still hasn't been returned. Neither has she provided the month I paid for. So I still had to come up with more money to pay so my family wouldn't be homeless. It's been, and they give a date. I'm not going to give a date because the guy might still be there.
Yeah.
I still haven't received what's due yet. This place is the slum of the slum. My pastor from Church of Latter-day Saints came to see. He was so appalled. They have been helping me get ahead mentally and spiritually because I was on the verge of a mental breakdown. The health department needs to come before someone die, including me. So he's a Mormon.
I don't want him to die, but Nilla, he capitalizes Nilla every single time.
So,
And that's probably because of Nilla wafers. That's what I'm thinking.
huh. So he's into Mormon Jesus.
Well, he's grieving the passing of his mama. He's struggling hard. He's got a wife and a kid. They done stole $960. We don't know where his dog went.
I'm going to be a kind of a jerk here, but it seems like too many people are being helpful. I'm of that opinion. You give a guy a fish, he eats a meal. You give him a fishing pole and teach him how to fish, he eats forever. Somebody needs to really help Ms.
But
out.
if you got a gift of money to pay up in advance, wouldn't you probably find somewhere that wasn't mice infested, roach infested, and gnat infested, and also with mold and mildew?
Well, in my opinion, he doesn't have a car.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Well, he doesn't say here that he doesn't.
No, but
he does have a dog.
Well, I'm glad he's taking care of the dog.
Well, I mean, until Nilla tells him no dogs are allowed, that's the next update.
I think he's gone. She just stole his money.
Well, Ms. Understood.
Mr. Is it?
It's Ms. MZ Understood.
No, what about Nilla Wafer Patel?
Nilla Wafer?
Nilla Wafer.
I'm going to go with that, so, I don't know, woman? I'm going to go Nilla's a woman. Sounds like a woman. I don't know.
So now we got the Knights in Indianapolis, which is not a Wyndham, because like I said, I went to their website to see what brands they own.
Knights Inn is the same quality as Wyndham.
Well, you see a Knights Inn, you know, it's a dump.
Yeah, I mean, even Wyndham knew it was a dump, so they wouldn't even offer their sponsorship.
Oh, I got 2 nights at the Tiki Licky and not the beach.
Okay. That's
Third.
Western?
Yeah.
A Tiki Licky.
I still had to Google Tiki Licky Bar,
to find it.
Daytona Beach, and it popped up.
Hey, we know we can stay there safely.
Well, I joined their rewards plan because it was like $60 cheaper per night.
So you paid $10 a night?
$114 a night.
Oh, well,
we paid like $159 when we were there.
Well, like I said,
night up.
It's clean, so
I hope it's still clean.
All right,
what if we get there and it says Best Western by Wyndham? Ugh.
We just start crying.
We go camp in the infield.
Sleeping in the parking lot across the street at the
Well, these guys have real names. Tanya Morkin. Morkin Mindy.
At the Nightmare Inn.
She calls it the Nightmare Inn.
I like
Decided not to stay. Still fighting on getting a refund. Rooms were not ready. Cleaning staff was taking shots of whiskey out of their cleaning cart. That's awesome.
Hey, that's a good day.
The rooms that were done were filthy. Beds were just remade and not changed. Toilets backed up. Missing bathroom doors. Ugh. Mini fridge was full of mold and live cockroaches. Ugh. Blood and other fluids on the walls. It was an absolute nightmare. Have no idea how this building is not condemned.
I don't either, man. How does this... I mean, we walked in a hotel room.
It should have been
February condemned. That should have been burned down.
It's great real estate for a new hotel or a condominium
or a house.
Yeah,
but it's one step above meth shack.
Yeah.
So, but I don't get it. Like blood and other fluids on the wall.
If you get two dealers that are in competing games start shooting at each other, there's gonna be blood on the wall.
You think that's what happened?
Yeah. Even a sideways Glock can hit the target every once in a while.
Maybe the cleaning people got hammered on whiskey.
Maybe they just lay out next to their cart in the hallway.
And they just got into a fight. And that's where the blood came from.
I'm going to hit you with a vacuum, you turd.
Hey, did you listen to Door Bumper Clear at half speed?
I did.
They sound so funny. If you haven't, there's a video on Twitter of Dell Jr. and the NBC guys played at half speed, and the guy tweeted it and says he likes to watch it and pretend their commentators are at the bar just hammered drunk. I listened to the video. It was hilarious. So then I went and listened to Door Bumper Clear at half speed. Even funnier. If you haven't done it, check it out. You won't regret it.
It's hilarious.
Anyway, back to the hotel reviews.
Well, this is the OYO, O-Y-O, all capital, Hotel Indianapolis International Airport. I was curious about OYO because I've seen them when we go to different races. There's one near the Atlanta airport.
Okay.
There's one near the Charlotte airport where we stayed for the 600. I saw one down in Daytona. So it's a big chain, but according to this, I will never stay in an OYO. And Wyndham will be acquiring them soon.
Oh, I'm sure.
This is Steve Nevins.
Oh, Stevie.
Google 1 out of 5. He says, do not recommend.
All right, we won't.
We opened the door to our room, and right there at the door, I was greeted by a young man smoking a drug pipe. And his girlfriend.
Did you know it was a drug pipe? Could have been a hookah. I mean, that's just fresh tobacco.
If I see a glass pipe, and he didn't describe it too well, I'm going to assume you're smoking something illegal.
Okay.
Just my assumption.
Judgmental.
But a hookah pipe too? I'm telling you, in my younger days, we had a 5-station water bong.
Judgmental.
You could smoke the weird tobacco-flavored crap on it, but we didn't.
That wacky tobacco?
We didn't do it. And I have a feeling...
Never called it a drug pipe either. That's just a weird thing to like. These guys
they're hoity-toity.
He probably hasn't ever smoked weed. We'll just
look how grammatically.
And I don't think he's referring to a weed pipe here. I think he's referring to a crack pipe.
This dude is a physics professor at some university, in my opinion, because he's just well-spoken.
His girlfriend was right behind him. So
was that his girlfriend smoking some crack, or was that the
that's what I think
pipe guy's girlfriend?
It's got to be a crack pipe because if it was a weed pipe, or he would probably be facing her and she wouldn't be behind him.
Yeah, they would have gotten up.
They would have been sharing. You know,
they'd be napping.
He wouldn't be hiding it, turning around, going hiding his crack. He'd be sharing his pot. So we'll go with crack. So he walked in and was greeted by a young man smoking a crack pipe.
In your opinion.
Our words, our opinion. And his girlfriend was right behind him.
She was like, give me some. Give me some. In our opinion.
In our opinion. All right.
So, we returned to inform the desk and no actions were taken to remove the people in that room. Well, would you really want that room from this point?
Yeah, it's got that crack pipe smell residue going on.
I mean, we work for a company that tests for drug use. Residue can get you fired.
Yeah, so you
demand a new room.
You don't want to sleep in that residue.
No.
You don't be all tweaked up all night.
But it looks like they apologized, but he didn't write it. But he said, we accepted the apology and tried another room. Well, this newly renovated room was in very bad condition, and someone had left some gifts for us in the toilet.
That was nice of them.
We did receive a refund. Do you think it was number 1 or number 2 in there? Or combo?
Some gifts.
Combo meal?
Says some gifts. Heck, it might have been a gift. Might have been like a flashlight.
I think they ate at Taco Bell late at night.
Pencil. Notepad. Frankincense.
I love Taco Bell, but I've gone at like 12 midnight.
It could be real gifts. Could be Christmas gifts.
They got food poisoning. That stuff's been out on the counter all day. Don't go after 8 p.m. to Taco Bell, in my opinion.
Yeah, that'll mess that stomach up.
So...
They did receive a refund.
They did receive a refund, but won't count on it. What? All of this happened on the day when I went to visit my father in hospital. Oh, he just dropped. Only to walk in to find him deceased. Well, that's sad. That really sucks. He might have seen his dad alive had he not argued at the hotel. Please avoid this hotel.
How do you know this didn't happen before he went?
And he said, thanks. Well, I don't know when it happened, but he doesn't
All
say
of this happened.
It happened immediately.
It happened on a day when he went to visit his dad in the hospital and he walked in to find him dead.
So do you call...
It's just weird how he says deceased. Like,
do you call the deuce in the toilet a shit show? Because basically you're leaving it for someone else to see.
It is. I mean, it's definitely a shit show.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So,
oh,
or is it just the OYO?
It's probably just the OYO because it's probably not how you pronounce it.
I mean, they should tell us phonetically how to pronounce it in their name.
Oh, y'all.
Sounds like that dude in California that popped out of the closet.
Marco.
Yeah.
Polo. Marco. Oh, y'all. Well, last week we had Noonie. This week we have Oyo.
We still haven't had another ghost. We've had a lot of deuces in the toilet.
A lot of gifts, but no ghost.
No ghost.
Nobody's jumped out of
the floor,
kitchen cabinets.
The cabinet.
Well, we're mid. This is like the middle of the country right now, so...
We got tons of cockroaches. For some reason, I thought once you get to Indianapolis, because it's way north,
I'm just hoping
there were no cockroaches.
I hope we have an actual Florida man story when we go back to Daytona.
We had a Florida man living under our first hotel we were at for 20 minutes.
Hey, do you know I'm going to be in New York 2 hours away from Watkins Glen when they're racing in Watkins Glen this year?
Dang.
I'm debating on going. Part of me wants to go, but we got a reason for
what
going.
What is your wife going to say?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
if you say, honey,
day one,
they're your parents. I'm going to the race.
We get there on Saturday and the race is Sunday. We're only going to be there, one Sunday out of the whole trip, and she wants to go to church with her grandparents. So, cool, I want to do it. But that's also the day of the Watkins Glen race.
But is it going to start at 3? You could leave.
That's what I'm thinking. I could make it from church.
At church, I get nervous at about 11:55 a.m. I'm serious. If the pastor's not done at noon, right, I walk out and go to the Starbucks in the foyer.
Just to get ready?
Yeah, I'm done.
Mad dash to the car.
Dude, didn't you practice this? You have an hour. Actually, after singing some songs and having some prayers, you got like 25 minutes, dude.
I think that I probably won't go, but just the fact that it's that close. Her dad will be there, so if he wants to go, I mean, who am I to deny my father-in-law? If he wants to go, I have to. I mean, he let me marry his daughter, so if he requests my presence at the racetrack, I'm going to have to go.
Being a Baptist, what would Baptist Jesus say?
I guess I just had to live stream it from the parking lot.
Are they Baptists up there, or are they Catholic? There's a lot of Catholics up there.
No, I think they're Methodists. Or Presbyterian. I don't really have a clue, to be honest with you.
So,
Well, we'll see. If I go, I will let you know. If I don't, I will let you know.
I think you ought to
I'll let
go.
you know.
Watkins Glen. I almost sound like the lady with the nightmare interview.
Well,
We've been
to a lot of races this year. I mean, we've already been to Charlotte, Atlanta. I've been to Atlanta twice. We've been to Daytona. We're going to the Cars race in North Wilkesboro. I got those tickets.
Are we going to Dega?
And I'm going to buy us Dega tickets this week, too. So we're going to Dega as well.
Both Atlanta.
And then the Roval for Charlotte is still a maybe on our list. So,
Homestead, if it was in
if the final race was in Homestead, I would go. I would definitely go.
I mean, I've driven to Key West in one day from the house.
I think I would fly. That's a long drive. I guess it's no farther than Buffalo.
I would bring the car. So when the race is over, I'd go to Key West.
It's no farther than Buffalo. I'm driving that one, so. All right, well, we're going to the Indy road course again. Last year it was a shit show, like we have stated on here numerous times.
Briscoe made it a little exciting.
Oh, yeah, when he wrecked Denny. I forgot about that. Maybe that's probably going to be Chastain and Denny this week.
I don't think it's over.
It's a 2.439-mile track. It's got 14 turns. It's asphalt and brick. It will seat 400,000 people total, owned by Penske. Track opened in 1909. The race is at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time on NBC and PRN. Hey, we're on the big network this week. That's cool.
Yeah, but they got Indy's back. Aren't they doing the road course?
Yeah. Oh, is it a doubleheader this weekend? Indy and Cup?
Indy, Xfinity, and Cup.
That's cool. I didn't know that. I don't know why
I think so.
That
It's trucks. It's Xfinity, I think.
Something. I think Xfinity races here. Well, we don't have a lot of stats from here as last year was the first year there. So the top 10 finishers last year were A.J. Allmendinger, Ryan Blaney, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, the 21 car that was driven by Matt DiBenedetto, Kurt Busch, Eric Jones.
Oh, did you see Matt DiBenedetto?
He resigned.
He's resigned.
Yeah.
They're happy with 15th place.
Hey, somebody's got to do it, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Eric Jones finished 7th. Justin Haley finished 8th. Austin Cindric finished 9th. And Ryan Newman finished 10th in the 6th car. For this week, I'm going to go with Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, Ross Chastain, and Tyler Reddick.
Those are good picks.
Yeah, I think they're pretty solid.
I have similar picks, but different order. Ryan Blaney, because I like the guy and I want him in the playoffs. Then Chase Elliott. Then the penalty guy, Denny Ham. And then I'm going Harvick again. I want Harvick and Tyler.
Are you going to pick Harvick like every week in a row and then stop picking him? Then he'll win?
He's my age.
And then he'll win when you stop picking
I will
him?
do it on the last race before the chase. I'll pick someone else and he'll win.
Maybe.
What's that, Homestead?
The last race before the chase?
Well, that's Roval. Or is the Roval the first race? I got to look at the schedule. Don't listen to me, people. NASCAR.com has the schedule.
They have you covered.
Of all 3 series.
Well, that's about it this week, guys. As always, we greatly appreciate everybody. Thanks to everybody who follows us. Thanks for sharing our show on social media, for listening each week. We greatly appreciate and love all of you.
Boy, we really do.
Hey, we wouldn't do this if it wasn't for you.
Without the few listeners we have, we probably wouldn't have made episode 25, and we would have been one of those shows you found and said, well, it's been a year since they put anything up. They only got 3 shows. Screw it. I'm going on. Moving on.
Not any good.
Yeah.
Not even worth listening to.
So we love you guys. Thank you.
Greatly appreciate it from the bottom of our hearts. We really do. Just check us out. If you're checking us out on Spotify, make sure you rate us there. Subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts and leave us a review there. Follow us on Twitter. We're at Car Backwards. And check out our website at racecarbackwards.com.
We changed the picture on it.
Yes, we have made a couple.
Other than just updating the latest episodes.
I don't even people don't use websites really anymore anyway, so.
No, I don't use websites.
I mean, it's there if we need it.
I go there to.
I use it when I'm filling out race.
We do have a couple of listeners that have flip phones and are senior citizens,
That's just true.
and you know who you are. They've had to get their children to show them how to listen to our podcast on our website. And I can look at traffic. There's 3 or 4 of them that listen to it. And you know what? I value every listener, regardless of your age.
So you like all of them, right?
Well, if you're under 18, I apologize. Sometimes some jersey slips out. But, you know, look at the rating. You get what you see.
Facts. I got a buddy who's offered to sponsor our show if all I'll do is come on the show every week and start it by saying he has better music taste than I do.
How much will he give you?
Like pennies on the dollar.
I think we need to leverage this to big corporations.
I don't think it's worth it. I don't think he has better music taste than I do.
Segue it to getting sponsors for race car drivers.
He went with me to see Metallica.
Oh.
And he's like, this band Cage the Elephant, man, they're great. They're awesome. You're going to really like them. The dude was tripped out on heroin the whole time, laying on the ground. Not my buddy.
How did you know? I was going to say, maybe you shouldn't go to concerts with that dude. Okay.
No, the guy on stage, I mean, he was tripped out on something. Like, he just started undressing.
Is that why you don't? I liked him when they first came out.
I showed you the video when he tried to take his pants off, but couldn't get them off over his shoes, and he just, like, stood there.
Oh, jeez.
He jumped off the stage, and nobody would help him back on. I mean, this dude was horrible. Horrible. His band had to pick him up and cover for him because he sucked so bad. But
my wife and I, when we were dating, she liked the band The Cure.
Yeah.
We got side of stage seats, which was great. I mean, the stage was 20 feet away. But I don't know the members of the band. He just was singing and drooling.
The whole time?
Yeah, he was on something bad. He didn't move, which was very boring.
The last time I saw Ozzy at Ozfest, he was kind of that way. He was shaking real bad.
He's like 90 years old, man.
Yeah, but I think the drug and alcohol use had him give him the shakes.
I mean, he got a DUI on a Model T.
Horse and buggy.
Yeah.
He was doing heroin before heroin was around.
Yeah.
What
do they call it?
He was smoking weed with the Indians in the teepee.
What do they call those places in China?
Opium dens?
Opium dens.
Yeah, like on Tombstone.
Yeah.
When he walks out shooting the moon.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Was that Curly?
Are we still recording? I mean, we've gone down a crazy rabbit hole here.
All right, guys. That's all we got this week. Y'all have a good one.
Yeah. Bye.
Thanks for listening to a race car spelled backwards.